Hey guys, the Animal King here, and today we're reviewing Revival by Eminem. Now, I said in my Snow White review that I will rarely review movies and TV shows with a podcast style review, but for album reviews, I had to do it in a podcast review because I don't want to catch so much copyright bullshit in one video. It's like YouTube doesn't understand anything about fair use. Um, and I would only do it the normal way if I get famous. So I may never get famous, and I'm currently not famous, so I'm going to be doing album reviews like this. This is Eminem's most hated album. It's more hated than Encore and Relapse for some reason. People hated it from after seeing the track list having pop singers on it, even though Eminem used to diss pop singers. Here's the thing, he didn't diss those pop singers just because they were pop singers. He dissed them because he thought they sucked, while he thinks the pop singers on here are good. Also the rock samples, because even though Tech Nine has been using rock samples for years, they call Eminem a culture vulture because there are rock instrumentals. No genre should stand on its own. There are many moments when genres blend together, and it's a beautiful thing when done right. If hip hop wants to be seen as an art form, because it is, we need to stop secluding it. People also hate the conscious rap, because that's not the topics they want Eminem to tackle. Because he's supposed to forever be a silly, goofy guy, even if the lyrics are corny and childish like Encore. We shouldn't seclude artists into one spot, because they are people that need to express themselves in many different ways. And letting them do that is going to and letting them only do one thing will cause burnout. Unless the topic is about something like being a pedophile, you shouldn't judge a song based off of the topic. You should judge a song on how clever it is and how good the writing is. And if it is about a very important topic, you should judge it on how much respect it was given. And most of these songs on the album are pretty good. They aren't as spectacular except for Walk on Water, which I put on my top 10 best rap songs of 2017 list. But a song doesn't have to be spectacular in order for it to be good. People think that if someone is a legend or is in such a high status, then everything they do has to be spectacular, which they don't. It's nice to get it, but just because it is not spectacular doesn't mean it's not good. I actually don't like some of the production on this album and the delivery on this album, but I will still judge the songs on a lyric basis. But sometimes the beats and the flows can be so bad I have to take off points. We start with Walk on Water. Now, I don't like the way it starts where it sounds like Eminem is crying, which while it makes sense in the topic, it doesn't sound enjoyable. It just sounds like you're messing up. I do think Beyonce is a pretty good artist. She could be pretty creative, and she does a great job on a hook. My favorite lyric is, "Now take your best rhyme, outdo it, now do it 1,000 times, and let the world tell you that no one cares about your rhymes." See, people are putting so much effort into their writing, and people think, oh, this must be so easy, because they're blinded to the fact that um, there are so many bad rappers now who just do the mumble rap bullshit. And it's like, well, no one cares if you write anything good anymore. We just care if everything has a nice, good beat. And every song follows the same criteria. Oh, we gotta talk about fucking bitches. Oh, we gotta talk about money, money, money. Oh, we're stealing someone else's girlfriend. La di da di da. It's like, no one cares about your writing anymore, so why should I fucking care? It's it's sad. And people think that, well, you're a legend. That means this stuff is so easy for you. Even though people put a lot of effort into the writing. You think Tupac, Biggie Smalls, or Nas, do you think it was so easy for them to do this? No, it takes them a long time and a lot of work to do this. Like, people think you're born with the skill, which no, it's something you work for. Some of the witty lyrics is, "I lose my grip like the flying trapeze, into the dark I plummet, butterflies whip apart my stomach, and as pressure increases, like khakis." Now, Eminem doesn't seem to understand why the choppy flow is not good. A choppy flow sounds like someone's having trouble getting his words out, like they're holding in a shit. The outro shows that even if he does fall off, you better remember how genius he was. Kamikaze was okay, and Music to Be Murdered by A&B was bad, because a lot of the corny lyrics that could be described as dad jokes. Now, Walk on Water is a 5 out of 5. Let's go to Believe. Everyone talks about the wind chimes line, which is bad, but you can't judge a song just because of one line. There are a lot of clever lyrics here. Started from the bottom like a snowman, ground up like round chuck, and still put hands on you. Staying ground up is how I spend time. You build the snowman from the ground up, with the bottom of it, saying that Eminem climbed his way to the top. He was successful, and he started from the bottom. Ground up is also what you call meat, like a round chuck, which Eminem is saying he puts hand on you. It's a witty lyric on how you put arms on a snowman and on grounded meat. The song can really work as an inspirational track. There is so much clever wordplay here. I'm giving him pounds. I'm upscale now, which means I'm way in the sky. Way in the sky can be heard as weighing the sky. Since he is upscale, which is how you would weigh something, he is saying that he's at a high status in the rap game. In fact, he's giving people pounds, which means skill. You can go on Genius and look at all the wordplay because it's really good on here. So I give Believe a 5 out of 5. Now we're talking about Chloroseptic. I think this song has some pretty witty lyrics, except for she making Illinoises, which just sounds awkward. But the wordplay surrounding that line is good. But Eminem delivers it with such an uninterested energy that it feels so long to listen to it. The hook is catchy with a good punchline. Many people don't understand the moment where Eminem starts rambling about nonsense, but you can't use the "I don't know the joke" as a defense when you have a website called Genius that actually tells you the joke or what wordplay and punchlines means. And if you actually look at it, you see this is Eminem making fun of mumble rappers. And then Paul then interrupts him saying, "Music please," which is pretty funny. But I also think the built-in toilet line was just forced multisyllables. And no forced multisyllable sounds good. I give this song a 4 out of 5. We are talking about Untouchable now. This is a powerful song about systematic racism in America. In this song, Eminem goes through 3 different perspectives. An abusive cop in the first and second verse, his point of view in the last part of the second verse, and a black person's point of view when dealing with the racism that is built to America's government. There is a lot of good wordplay in the last verse, and he makes some strong points in this song. But again, the choppy flow sounds like he doesn't know what to say in the middle of recording, so he has to pause. Now, in a professional song, that sounds good. I'm doing it because this is a podcast-like review. So overall, I give the song a 4 out of 5. Now we're talking about River. This is a well-constructed story about Eminem, after breaking up with his girlfriend, gets right back into a relationship with a woman who is just trying to spite her douchebag ex. With clever lyrics like, "So she's been on the web lately, she's wanted to be my Gwen Stacy, the Spider-Man." And Eminem is just there for sex, but she ends up getting pregnant, and they choose to have an abortion. But the choice has been weighing on Eminem heavy. This is the only song Ed Sheeran has ever been in his entire life where he is tolerable. There's a lot of good wordplay here, but I do hate "this love triangle has us in a rectangled." Like, that is a preschool level pun. But there are witty lines like, "She's been on his back like a jetpack," and "so I revert to the studio like hole-in-the-wall diners don't have to be reserved in a booth." I'm not going to be able to go through all the wordplay as much as I would like to, like I would in a song solo review, any other typical song I review. This is a podcast review, so I have to get through the tracks as much as possible. But I will let you guys know whenever there's more bad than good. Anyways, I think this song is a 5 out of 5. Just don't check out anything else with Eminem and Ed Sheeran. Now we go to Remind Me. I don't like 2 lines here. "Her booty is heavy duty like diarrhea," because that's gross and it doesn't make sense. Wouldn't diarrhea not be a heavy duty? Anyways, and "she's smoking like Snoop Dogg," because that line has been done so many times before and it's not creative. Everyone's made a weed joke about Snoop Dogg. But there are witty lyrics like, "You must be token if you think you're taking over my quarters. I'm wearing a new shirt tonight too, with me on it. I'm thinking that this tramp on lean, so we should bounce," and "back that up like a moonwalk." Also, this is how a sample is done. You take something and change it into something different. Some of the lyrics from the original song are taken and turn it into a song about finding a girl that is as gritty as you to have sex. So I give this song a 4 out of 5. The revival interlude is beautiful. Not much to be said. I give it a 5 out of 5. Next is Like Home. This is a great political song, dissing the dickhead called Trump, and there is clever wordplay in it. Like, "All he does is watch Fox News like a parrot and repeats while he looks like a canary with a beak. Why do you think he banned transgenders from the military with a tweet? If we start from scratch, the scar will heal." And "'cause hate's all you played off," and you just licked the plate off, so I guess it pays off to feed off of chaos, so basically you ate off Hitler. But rhyming Nazi with Nazi is cheesy. I still give the song a 5 out of 5. Bad Husband, this is a sincere apology to Kim. Now, there are many people, including one of my favorite reviewers, Rap Critic, thinking anytime Eminem mentions a girl, he must be talking about Kim or Haley, which is dumb, but this is an exception. There are witty lines like, so much baggage, we need a luggage rack, and you were to beat our love with the writer's block, the line that's hot that I forgot. But the hook where Ed's Ambassadors just goes, how come, like their vocal cords are broken, and the part where Haley is saying dad from My Dad's Gone Crazy is trying to be emotional, like really trying to grab at your heartstrings in a very forced way, in a way that ends up being cringy. But Bad Husband is a 4 out of 5. Then we get to tragic endings. This song is bad. It sounds like a high schooler got his heart broken for the first time. The line, she drops me like a hot potato, doesn't even make sense, because you pass a potato to someone else, you don't drop it. And we have forced lyrics like, since I'm a newer, she's a sewer, this piece of shit's running drewer, and but somehow she must have took the carton of eggs off the counter, cracked them, and placed the shells on the ground for me to walk on when I'm around her. I don't even know how you can get more forced than that. Like, so she just, was that really the most clever way you could have said, it feels like I'm walking on eggshells when I'm around her? Was that really? Because it just sounds cringy. Also, the song ends with the story being unresolved. The yo-yo line is the only witty line here, so I give the song a 2 out of 5. Let's talk about Framed. In this song, Eminem uses the cliche horror plot with someone with a separate evil personality trying to figure out why they're being pinned to murders with only one creative line, even as Pinky swears. The story is just very cliche, and he has those annoying accents that strip away any horror, and the hook sounds like a robot malfunctioning, making this the worst track on the album. But people will be like, but it's a Slim Shady song, so we have to ask, is it because of it? Now we get to Nowhere Fast. People telling artists that they are too old to do this or that. The age of an artist, that doesn't matter. What matters is how creative they are. Do people think that when you hit a certain age limit, your creativity expires? Seriously, people who are like, but they're too old, really pisses me off. There are creative lines here, because I'm awake in your morning, because I rise and I shine, like a new day has dawned on me, and there's a lot of shit I said in jest that's tough to swallow. The War Machine line is way too uncreative to be funny. This song does match the feeling of being young and living life to the fullest, and doing what makes you happy, because you never know when it will be all over. Many people think that, well, I'm 18 now, I better stop doing all the things that made me happy before, which I think is bullshit. You can still hold on to many things from your childhood into adulthood. While this song is a 3 out of 5, its extended version is a 4 out of 5, because he talks about the bullshit like the NRA being a bunch of bastards caring about money more than children's lives, and how gun shootings in America are just going fucking off the wall. Yeah, and that's also why I really love Darkness, because of all the double entendres in it, and it tackles that serious topic really well. Now, Heat and Need Me. I put these two songs together because they have the same rating and they have the exact same problem. Corny pickup lines. There are only a few amount of lines that are clever, but man, I cannot stand these corny lines like, dude, leave your dad jokes out of hip-hop. So, Heat and Need Me are 2 out of 5s. Offended. I do like many of the punchlines in the song. The song basically says, if you're going to enter my music, this is the shit you're going to expect. There's clever enough wordplay to make the dark humor end up being good. And it has energy in the vocals, unlike the beat, which is just too low-key for a song about offending people. The beat should have energy, not this campaign speech-like beat. I don't know why he wanted to change the song into an inspirational track at the end, while having some clever lyrics in that part. It's just not the right tone, so I give it a 4 out of 5. Now we're talking about In Your Head. I can handle a choppy flow when a song is about, look how lyrically skilled I am, but not with a song about mental health, because it takes you out of the mood. It's like, dude is needing to catch his breath in this song. Also, there's nothing creative here, and the sample is used in a lazy way. They didn't change anything. Now we're talking about A Rose and Castle. They're both 5 out of 5s. I love the female vocalist in this song, which is on a story with the same, these two songs have a ongoing story, so I will talk about both of them, and they have the same rating. In Castle, Eminem is writing letters to Haley for her to read when he passes away. You know, many parents knew that. I don't know why he wrote down the pancakes and syrup part. Like, Haley's just going to look at the note and be like, wait, why is he talking about this? Did he have a stroke when writing this? That's just what it's going to seem like. But anyways, the first two verses are when Haley was still in the womb and was a baby, talking about how hard Eminem is struggling to support his family and trying to get a career in rap. Note that Eminem took care of his family first before making any time on the video, on his music, before you comment on the video. Then the last verse fast forward into 2018. 2018, which was in Eminem's dark age. It was in between Encore to Relapse, which were bad albums. Encore was annoyingly immature and had horrible dark humor, while Relapse was kind of better. It still had annoying accents, immaturity, bad punchlines, and forced rhyme schemes that sounded like nonsense. Like, this is Captain America on Ferris wheels. Like, I'm sorry, what? What is that like? Only a few songs and features were good. At this time, Eminem was really depressed. He lost his best friend Proof, and he was addicted to sleep medication. In the letter in the last verse, he talks about his personal struggles through this time. And at the end of the song, you hear Eminem popping a bottle and then collapsing. Many people don't know this, but Eminem overdosed on drugs trying to kill himself in 2008. People said it took Eminem 4 years to make an album after Encore, which was Relapse, but that is not really true. He did work on D12's album right after Encore, and it's called D12 World, and he was on most of the tracks, but he was also struggling with recovering from drug addiction and overdose. It's not like recovering from a broken limb. It was only until he recovered he started making Relapse. We get the song A Rose, where Eminem seems to go through some astral projection, as he sees himself dying on a hospital bed with his family suffering right next to him. The family is really sad. There is good wordplay like turn down the volume, which can be heard as volume. I've done heard everything, which can also mean like he's taken a lot of drugs. But deaf is turning so definite. And my vocal cords won't permit me. I scream, but it's not allowed. It's Eminem saying, I'm trying to get out of this, but my body won't allow me to do it. And saying he's screaming on the inside. So it's not allowed. And it's also saying, you are not allowed to scream. The emotion in the lyrics as he sees the things he will miss when he's dead, and the struggles that got him to that point. You feel the emotion, especially with the delivery. Eminem then finds the strength to revive himself, and he fixes the mistake he made. The track makes a rewind back to Castle, where Eminem fixes his note to Haley in a more positive note, and then he disposes the pills in a toilet. This album is overall good. Most of the tracks are well written, and there were definitely missteps even in the good tracks, but not enough to say it's an overall bad album. I give Revival a 4 out of 5.